Hi everyone and welcome along to a very special edition of the Celtic View Podcast. I'm Ryan Maher and we're building up to the big League Cup final against Hibs on Sunday. And as you can see, it's a very special edition because we have a special guest alongside us today. Let me introduce him. He started off his club career at Cardiff City, his boyhood team, where he made over 200 appearances, helping them to an FA Cup final before then signing for Celtic in 2010. Where he won 3 Scottish Premiership titles, 2 Scottish Cups, and was the last person to score against Hibs in a cup final for Celtic. Then went on to have success at Crystal Palace, Derby County, Charlton, Newcastle Jets, and Newport County before recently retiring this summer, all while amassing over 70 caps for Wales and becoming a national icon along the way, I think you could say. Let me welcome Super Joe Ledley. Joe, that's not a bad career, is it?
I'll take that all day. I'm very happy with my career and the stats and everything. When I look back, I'm very grateful and I lived a lot of people's dreams, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was kind of running out of breath there when I was reading all that out. So it's a long one. It's a long career. How is it now though? Just recently retired. Is it strange to hang up your boots?
Yeah, it is strange, but I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to just stay into a routine. I go to the gym in the morning, try and stay in that football routine, like training in the morning, and then time I'm finished, I come home, walk the dog, and have lunch, and then pick the kids up. So I do. I have got a routine. I do miss certain parts of football. Don't get me wrong. Putting that dressing room environment and playing football, but there's obviously a lot of things that I don't miss, like eating pre-match meal about 8 o'clock in the morning, trying to ram chicken and pasta down my neck. So no, there's a lot of things which I don't miss.
I was going to say, particularly this period of time with Christmas, for Celtic, I think we've got like 9 games in this month. So the games are constant. I was going to say, are you missing this period or are you actually looking at it and thinking, this is great, I can spend some time with the family and eat food, eat everything I want?
Honestly, I can't wait. I think last year was the only time I had it where I had to just basically done whatever I want. So again, this year I've got a lot of friends and family coming over. Spend Christmas together. Drink and eat wherever I want. I am really looking forward to that, and I think it's it's especially what's happened in the world at the moment. I think it's vital. We spend as much time as we can with our families.
Yeah, and you can stick those scales away as well. You don't have to worry about your weight for anything. Well, we'll get a little bit more into your career later on, Joe. But first of all, as I said, we've got the big build up to the cup final on Sunday, and it's quite interesting as well because you were actually at the pre-season camp in Wales in the summer, so you got a real good close eye at what Ange Postecoglou was trying to do in those early stages. I don't know how much you've still kept up to date with how the team's progressed, but I was wondering if you've seen a lot of progression from those early days in the summer to the team now.
Yeah, I did. Do you know what? When I saw it in pre-season, I liked the way the manager and the philosophy he was trying to bring to the club. Especially with the full-backs sort of coming inside and trying to create overloads in midfield. You could see, what the manager was doing, and I think the more time you spend on a training pitch with a manager, the more you end up getting drilled. And I think now you can see, from pre-seasons now, I think everyone knows their job a lot more better, and expectation obviously is a lot higher because they're doing very well. It's tight in the league at the moment, and long may it continue, and hopefully we hopefully get the title back where it belongs.
Mm-hmm. What's impressed you about the team? Because Ange's got a very particular way of playing football. You mentioned there the fullbacks has been one aspect of that this season. Has there been anything in particular or any players that have impressed you so far?
Yeah, Jota, I think, has been a vital part of the team. I think that for me, there's a lot of individuals, but it's good to see that sort of team spirit back. I think everyone is together. You can see that on and off the pitch. I think they've got a good environment in the training ground. I think that's what you need. That's what they wanted to build on. And I think a lot of the team shape and the way they defend and the discipline in the team is very good for me.
and they've been grinding out results at the moment throughout December as well, which is another aspect which is really important when you're wanting to lift titles and win trophies. I mean, I don't know if you managed to see the Ross County game on Wednesday night, scoring in the 97th minute. I mean, how important are those aspects for you, having been there and won league titles?
They are massive. You know, getting that extra 2 points from potentially being one, it means a lot. And like I said, it's always going to be nice to try and play football, but at this stage and in the competition and you know the amount of games is all important. Is the most important thing is just getting 3 points. You know, it doesn't matter how you play. Yeah, we'd like to see football played the right way and winning 4-5-0, but it's never going to be as easy as that. You know, you come against a lot of players who want to be in your position. So, at this present time, I think it's just all about getting the 3 points like they did last night.
I don't know if you see any similarities between the team that you came into and this one, in terms of there's been a lot of change, a new manager. I think when you signed, there was about 11 players came in that summer, which is similar to this one as well. So do you see similarities in that aspect? And what was it like for you when you came in? You're trying to bed in with a new manager and players.
Yeah, for me, it's similar. It's this sort of a rebuild. As you say, a new manager, new coaching, and different way of football. So you got to rebuild, and people move on to different clubs. So it's a similar scenario as what I was, and it was difficult for me at first because you always hear of Celtic, how big they are, and then once you sign and you play, you realise how much it means to the fans and trying to get that winning mentality for me, because winning is vital for the club like Celtic. And we missed out on my first year by 1 point, which still hurts me now, but some of the football we were playing was unbelievable. We signed some very good players, few players from the Championship, me, Gary Hooper. We ended up signing Emilio Aguirre. There was a lot of refurb needed behind the scenes, but you could see after a year or two, I still believe in our first year we should have won a league and deserved to win a league. But we went on from strength to strength, and I look back and what a team we had. For me, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, and when you're going into these cup finals, you've obviously played in them yourself, and you've won a couple. What's the difference in these matches? Does it feel different as a player? Because I know a lot of times players talk about we just treat every game the same, but is that really the case?
Nah, no chance. Everyone says that. You know the build-up. The expectation is massive. It's one game off, and it's just a one-off game. Sorry. I loved games like this. Don't get me wrong. I always thought it was a difficult place to play, Hampden, when I was there, because the pitch wasn't the best compared to what we were used to at Celtic Park and the stadium. But it's totally different to a normal game. I loved them personally. Even when I was at Cardiff, playing the FA Cups was fantastic. So to have an opportunity to play in any cup final, means a lot to any player.
Take us into the dressing room then, and into the minds of the Celtic players at this moment in time. What do you think they'll be going through in the days leading up to a cup final?
A lot of players are all totally different. Some of them will be nervous. Some of them might be their first time. A lot of them will just be motivated and can't wait to get out there. There's a lot of mixtures in a changing round, in a dressing room. Sorry, and I'm sure they just have their music pumping, or people listen to the individual music, and once you cross that white line, then it's down to you to perform, because there's nothing better than lifting a cup and getting that winner's medal. I look back in all the runners up medals, they don't really mean as much, nowhere near as much as winning, and that's what you want. You see the pictures of yourselves and like this, I'm having interviews because that's what you want. You want to be winning and lifting that trophy as much as you can.
Yeah, and as you said, there will be a few players in this Celtic team, because of that rebuild, that this is their first opportunity to play in a cup final in their careers. So for yourself, when you were in that situation, I know you'd played in a cup final with Cardiff, but when you had players like Scott Brown in the team that had been there and won trophies, and in this team they have, Cal McGregor and James Forrest, how important is it to have figures like that in the dressing room?
They're vital because, they're the experienced players now. They're the ones who the players look up to. It's down to them to motivate the players who've come in and encourage the players as well, who's playing for the first time maybe in a final. So I think the experienced players always helped. Myself when I played in finals, and obviously you've got the manager and the coaching staff behind you. But once you're on the pitch, you always look to those experienced players around you, because you can see the difference of they've got no fear, and it's just another game for them, because they're not nervous. They're sort of grown into it. Played a lot. James, God knows how many he's played finals, so it's just a norm to him.
I know he's a winning machine now. He's the amount of trophies that he's amassed during his time at Celtic. And this is the first opportunity as well for real tangible success, because the team have progressed really well, but that success, as you know, at a club like Celtic, it's all about winning trophies. So how important is it, do you think, if the team can get it over the line, that can then build the success for later on in the season as they're going for the league title?
Yeah, I think it's a great way to start. Put your foot down and the marker as well, to say, this is what we believe in, this is what we want to do. We want to win trophies, and there's no better opportunities than playing in the final and trying to win a winner's medal. So it's an opportunity for them to perform and do that. I think it's always going to be difficult playing in finals, because you're up against an opposition who also wants to lift that trophy and become winners. So it'd be unbelievable and such a marker to put down at this stage of the season. And then we'll see what happens. I believe this squad is good enough to achieve a lot of things.
So when your first seasons, you were saying you just missed out in the league by 1 point, but you ended up winning the Scottish Cup that season. Then the next season you go on to win the league. Did you find from your experience that was a real catapult for the rest of your success?
Yeah, it is, because you want more. You end up becoming a lot greedy. I was a greedy player. I always, honestly, not on the pitch, but winning and winning trophies, and that's why I came to Celtic. I didn't want to come here and maybe win one title or one cup. I wanted to get as many medals as I can, and this is why when you retire, you always look back and you always see the medals you've got and the trophies you won, and then it's a great marker to put down. And most definitely they want more once they've won this final against Hibs.
Is that something you've been doing since you've been retiring, kind of looking back through your medals and through your memories a little bit?
Not really, not personally. You see a lot more on social media, to be fair. I'm not one of those who, I've got shirts everywhere. It's all more or less up here. I just picture in my head and those moments, especially when you watch football and you look back, and it just brings back memories. So yeah, there's no better feeling.
Yeah, and as I said at the start, there was a perfect reason why we wanted you on, because you were the last person to score in a cup final against Hibs. I just want you to take us back to those memories of that game and what you remember about it. 3-0 win against Hibs to win the double that year.
Yeah, it was actually a lovely day in Scotland for once.
I know, it's unusual, eh?
Yeah, I remember we had the black kit on. I think Gary Hooper got the first two goals. For me, I thought Anthony Stokes was one of the best players on the pitch. He set up his one with his left foot with the ball over, I think, header from Hoops. And he got another. And then I remember Lustig sort of somehow set me up, because he's put the ball in from the right-hand side. Hoops is actually scuffed there, and it's just dropped to me. Me and Sammy are sort of fighting to see, but I wanted to get into double figures that season, and we knew then that was it, game over. And to win on that day and finish the season off with the trophy was remarkable. And we credit to Hibs. I thought they played well, especially in the first half. But apart from that, we tore them apart in the second half and deserved to win it.
It was a proper top bins effort. It was right into the stanchion. It was one of your best strikes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I didn't expect to hit it that high. To be fair, I just thought hit it high-ish, but in the corner, so the keeper couldn't get it. And I'm just glad I got there before Sammy. To be fair, because I would have been gutted not to score in the final, because there's not a better feeling than doing that. But I thought we were magnificent the way we controlled the game, the circumstances, and I think we deserved that. It was sort of the icing on the cake for us, especially that season we had. I thought we were magnificent.
Take us into the dressing room then, like before a big cup final like that. Are you nervous as a player? Do you try and block out those nerves if you are at all, or what's the emotions like?
Yeah, I never got nervous as a player. I'm more of an adrenaline rush. I just couldn't wait to go out there and cross that line and, have the whole world, the whole of Scotland, the whole of the UK, everyone sort of looking at you. And, I love big occasions. I don't know why. I think I look back in my career, I just love, I thought I performed at a better level, playing higher up. And like I said before, at the beginning, a lot of people are different, but for me, I was buzzing. I just couldn't wait to go out there and get that trophy.
And then when you score that third goal, are you thinking at that point, right, okay, it's party time? Are you thinking about everything that's going to be coming after that?
Yeah, definitely. After that, you think, right, let's get this trophy, get a few beers down you after the game, and have a night out, because you work so hard. You don't realise the physicality and mental, draining of the season it is. It's so long, and there's nothing better than partying with your mates who you work with, and keep in touch with now and call them friends. So I think it's a lot of people didn't do it because we a totally different mentality to most of us British people, but we definitely had a good time after and deserved it.
Because that was quite a good squad in terms of the characters that were in it as well. A lot of jokers. So you must have had some great memories. I don't know if you've got any after that cup final, any good stories at all.
I probably can't remember. We had such a good team bonding. I think people even James, you might say now, who was there at the time. I'm sure Scott Brown. We had a lot of good big characters in that team, and that togetherness, I think, took us, that sort of step further in our careers and what we've done on the pitch, because once you've got that dressing room, there's no better feeling, and you can end up achieving a lot more than what you can.
That's the only thing I'm gutted about for the players, that if they do win on Sunday, they've got a game like 3 days later, so they won't be able to. How would you handle that?
I know. Who does the fixtures, so I feel for them, but that's football now. That's why it's changing. There's so much. A lot of games they try and fit in a short space of time. So I feel for them. I'm sure they might have a little drink or so after to celebrate, but we'll see what happens.
I know, fingers crossed for them anyway. So get your crystal ball out then. How do you see the 90 minutes or potentially 120 minutes going? Do you feel confident in Celtic's ability to get it over the line?
Yeah, I think it'll be done in 90 minutes. I reckon it could be a 2-0 win for Celtic. I think, you've got that momentum at the moment where, a lot of things are going their way. They've got that little bit of luck, which needs to earn, but they've got the ability as well. Obviously the fans behind them. Like I said, a few people playing their first time and wanting to win that trophy. I just feel like Celtic will win 2-0, even though I feel like Hibs are dangerous and a very good team this season. Can hurt a lot of teams, but I still think Celtic have got too much for them.
I'll take that. I'll take 2-0. As long as it's not an early one. No, after Wednesday's game, I'll take that. But before we let you go though, Joe, I thought we've chatted a little bit through your Celtic career, but can't let you go without going a little bit more in depth to it. And I kind of want to go right back to the start for when you first joined. Obviously left Cardiff, your hometown team, left in a free agent. How did the move come around? Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure I remember at the time you were linked to teams like Roma and, other top European teams as well. So what was that process like?
It was strange because I never really had that in my career. I had a few offers, bids when I was at Cardiff from Stoke and Everton and a few people like that, but got rejected. So, once I realised, and it took me a few weeks because, we lost in the playoff final to try and reach in the Premier League with my homegrown team. And it was difficult to get over that. But once I made the decision, I wanted to leave and sat down with the club and rejected the contract and was like, right, I need to look now. And then I had a few clubs coming in, a lot of Premier League teams, near the bottom, but that wasn't for me. And I spoke to Lenny, actually. I was in Vegas with my wife and had an amazing conversation with him. And he sold the club to me straight away and invited me up, had a look around the stadium, and that was me then. I was sold. And I think it was the right move. And I wanted to win trophies. Like I said, I wanted to play in the Champions League. I wanted to play at the highest I can. And I thought this is the biggest club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. So, what an opportunity to show the world what I can do.
When you did come in, you look at the squad then, particularly in your position, you had the likes of Scott Brown, Ki Sung-young, Biran Kaya. I think he was one of the players of the season that year. Efren Juarez was brought in for big money as well. So did you find it difficult to adjust in those first sort of couple of months at all?
No, not really. I knew it'd be pressure on myself. I enjoy, especially at that sort of age, I knew I was in my potential. I knew I was playing the best football I've ever played. And I enjoyed coming into training. I enjoyed being with Scott Brown. I enjoyed, having that competition in my place. And it was down to me then to perform. And I loved every moment. And I played a lot that season. Obviously, I wish I scored a few more goals than expected, but I couldn't complain. We had an amazing squad, and that's the best thing about a club like Celtic. If someone's got injured, it's an opportunity for someone to come in and with the same quality.
And talking about scoring goals, one of the big important goals that he did score the following season was in that game against Rangers at Celtic Park. Talk us through that one. I mean, that's a goal that still gets replayed all the time here at Celtic Park.
I was gutted to be playing left back. With Lenny put me there. It wasn't my strongest position, but it's down to me to try and perform as best I could, and to help the team and try and go above them, because we are so far behind them at the beginning of the season. And we knew we were capable of winning this league and need to win the league. So once that ball in from Charlie, which he's capable of doing, he's done it many a times for us. It just hit my head and went in. I just hear the crowd erupt and everyone celebrates, and it was just an amazing feeling, because there's not a better feeling than scoring against Rangers, at Celtic Park. So then it was down to me to try and keep a clean sheet from left back.
Because I mean, that must be probably most Celtic fans' dreams, to score on an occasion like that. What's it like on the pitch in terms of that atmosphere? Does it feel so much more different when you're the person that scored the goal, you're running round the pitch, and that noise as well? How different a noise is it?
It's unbelievable. You just feel your heart and adrenaline just rushing through you, and you just think of people back home watching it, your parents, your family, your wife, and just seeing 60,000 fans just going mad is nothing better. It's an unbelievable feeling. It's hard to describe, actually, until you actually do it and see it. It's unbelievable, and very grateful that we went on to win 1-0, and in a selfish way, for me. But it was a massive win, because that took us above, I think, Rangers then, and then we didn't look back.
Yeah, that was a real catalyst, I think, for that season to then go on and lift the title, our first title in a number of years as well. I mean, you had so many successes. Then you look into the next season, the Champions League campaign as well, defeating Barcelona. I mean, how does that night rival compared to that Rangers one?
Yeah, it's bonkers. I love playing in the Champions League because it's one of the best competitions. Well, it is the best competitions in Europe. So it's important to perform as well as we could and show the world what we're capable of doing. And Barcelona, I've said it before, I used to watch a lot of Serie A and La Liga and a lot of foreign leagues, and to play against players who you worship and idol, and it was so special to me. It felt like I completed football and completed life, but to actually beat them at Celtic Park was an unbelievable feeling. It was you're in shock. We just couldn't believe it, because at that time Barcelona definitely had one of the best teams in their probably era, and credit to us, we knew we were not going to have much of the ball. The stats shown that, but it was important for us to work on set plays, and Victor Wanyama got that header, and then it's down to us to defend for our lives.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about that game against Rangers. You're going up at left back against Sonia Luko. I mean, no disrespect to Sonia Luko, but in this Barcelona game, you're in midfield against Xavi, Busquets, Iniesta. Fabregas comes on. I mean, what is that like as a player when you're going up trying to get the ball off these players?
It's very difficult. Very difficult. I just realised that I am so far behind the best in the world, like so far. It really just put me down. But you had to pinch yourself, really. Honestly, I was starstruck, because especially Iniesta and Xavi, I looked up to them, and being a midfielder, I watched a lot of them and the way they play. And when you see it live within a few feet from you, just, unbelievable. It was just amazing. And to get onto that win and beat them, at home. And to be fair, I remember, people have heard it before, but after that game, I asked Xavi for his shirt, and we were clapping the fans, and he's already gone in. And I thought, no way, like that's me, no opportunity now to get his shirt. And fair play to him, he waited for me after the game, and I managed to get his shirt and framed it up. So credit to him, he'd be up there for the best in the world for me now.
Oh, that's brilliant, yeah. And I mean, imagine as well after that, talking about celebrations. The celebrations in the dressing room must have been amazing. I mean, I'm sure I remember seeing on Twitter at the time, Effie Ambrose trying to go out in his club tracksuit that night. So there must have been a few boys out celebrating.
Yeah, we got, actually, I think you got Paolo Nutini in the dressing room, was singing with some mop or brush or something. So he was doing a few songs for us, and so I saw him out then in the night. We went to Corinthians, and we had to have a few drinks and celebrate after that. It was an unbelievable achievement. Don't think Lenny would have liked it the next day, but this is once in a lifetime. It doesn't really happen much. So, like I said, we had that team bonding where we enjoyed having our time free to ourselves.
Yeah, brilliant. And I mean, you had so many other successes as well. I just want to finish up and maybe some quick fire questions about your Celtic career. So first of all, we've went through some of those achievements there, but what would you say was your favourite achievement, your favourite moment as a Celtic player?
It's winning trophies was one of the best. Playing at Celtic, there's so many. There's honestly playing at Celtic Park week in, week out, beating Rangers. There's too much. It's hard for me to say. I loved every moment of being at Celtic. So, I think winning probably the first league trophy for me was one of the best, because that's the reason why I came, was to win the title. And there's no best feeling than once you've got it and you're celebrating. So winning my first league title was up there.
Did you have a first sort of wow moment where you couldn't believe whether it was an atmosphere or playing in a game?
Yeah, obviously, when we played Rangers at home, when we was 3-0 and they're doing a huddle, and I just looked up and I just thought, wow, what a club this is. Like, you just don't realise, the fans and how much it means to them as a as a nation and as a team. And it's just mind blowing. There's something that the atmosphere they create is one. I said to everyone, is one of the best in Europe by far.
Mm-hmm. In terms of, we talked about some of the games you played in, talked about the Barcelona one, but is there a performance that stands out from your time at Celtic where everything just clicked and it was sort of just a sublime performance?
We had a few games where everything clicked. I'm not going to lie. We played some unbelievable football. For me, I enjoyed when we played Kilmarnock away, when we took over the free stand. I think it's when we won the league, and everything was clicking and the atmosphere was insane. I've played away in the Championship. I've never seen so in our free stands. I just couldn't believe what was going on there, and everything was just clicking. We were just passing it and moving it, and it was enjoyable to watch. I loved that game. I don't know why. I know we're not home, but Kilmarnock away when we won the league was brilliant.
You scored a beauty that game as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I did actually. I think so.
Yeah, I remember it was a little back heel from Twardzik and then not bad, not bad. And then a couple maybe in your teammates as well, because you played with some brilliant players. Was there a player during your time that really sort of stood out? Maybe someone who had the best skill or someone who's the best goal scorer? One player that really stood out for you?
Easy. Paddy McCourt. Oh my, Derry Pelly. He was frightening. I just thought, if you picking five-a-side, first pick would be Paddy McCourt, because the ball just stuck to his feet. It was like glue. When he'd go left, he can go right, he'll chop, he can score inside, outside the foot. Honestly, he was just a pleasure to watch and train, and just think sometimes you have to stop training, just go, oh my God, what has he just done there? He was frightening. So for me, easy pick, Paddy McCourt, and I think everyone in that whole squad would say exactly the same.
Yeah, it's such a weird one with Paddy, because as much as he had so much skill, it wasn't like he had, skills like you'd see Cristiano Ronaldo doing, or he didn't have that sublime pace, but he just still managed to beat players at ease.
Yeah, he would just glide through people. He was just so gifted. He had that natural ability where he would just glide left, right. Like you said, he wouldn't be doing step overs loads or trying to nutmeg people. He just do it easy and make things look so easy.
Yeah. And what about then in terms of people in the dressing room? Was there a funniest character in the dressing room during your time?
Scott Brown, Charlie Mulgrew, those two were a right laugh. Always up to doing pranks on players and staff, and we had a lot of jokers in the squad, to be fair. But for me, probably those two were the main ones. They just bonkers at times and just didn't care. Some of the things they would do and get up to in the dressing room was brilliant. And I loved that sort of side of football and just relaxing and having a laugh outside of it.
Are there any pranks that stand out to you that you can mention on this?
Yeah, I remember. I think we had a new security guard at the training ground. I think it was me, Dylan McGeoch, and Charlie Mulgrew were injured, and he's literally just had his new job and working. And me and Dylan was like, "There's a guy by the fence. He's just jumped over." He's like, "No way." I was like, 100%. He's just there. He had a bandana on, Charlie. And it was Charlie at the top. And he's like, right. And he's gone out and he's like, jump the fence. Charlie tried to run. He's trying to chase him and I ended up pulling off, and I had him big time. Didn't know what to do because it's his first time at work and he is fuming with us. But no, we just used to get up to loads of stuff in there.
Yeah, I wonder if he's still here. We need to mention it to him.
I don't know if he's still there. Might have called it a day after that.
And is there one player from that team that you wouldn't want to mess with, a hard man or someone that maybe didn't seem like a hard man but could maybe scrap their way out of a fight? I'll tell you who I've been thinking, and this answer, I always looked at big Dan Mastorovic and thought, oof, that's a guy you don't want to mess with.
Yeah, he'd probably be up there, to be fair. He had that aura about him where you'd strut in and just, didn't really care much. It was his way or the other. So yeah, probably Big Dan was probably the main guy there at the time.
Yeah, I know. And just in general, Joe, just kind of looking back in your Celtic career and your career in general now you've retired. How do you look back? And must be filled with so much pride looking on it.
Yeah, very grateful, for the opportunities, the club have gave me, the fans, the teammates, my managers. I've loved every minute of it. It's like I said, it's every boy's dream to do that. So yeah, I just loved every moment of it, and you got to enjoy it because it goes so fast, and we'll see what happens now in the next in the future for me. But for me, it's just a big thank you to everyone.
Yeah, what are the plans then? Are you just going to kind of rest out for a little bit and then see where it takes you?
Yeah, I'm doing a bit of media, especially down here in Wales. A few media opportunities for me. I've been invited. I'm doing my A and B license with maybe Cardiff Academy. Have asked me to come in to work with some of the young players. So there's a few things, maybe agency. I'm not too sure what the next plan is. I'm definitely going to see Christmas out and New Year first, and then decide what's next for me. But hopefully I'll stay in football. I'd love to work with kids and try and get them to a level that a lot of other players have done, and try and better them as a person as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a wise man to say at the Christmas period, I think, and then look at it after that. But Joe, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and best of luck.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Whatever you do going forward, really do. And and stay safe during this period as well. Look after yourself.
Yeah, and you.
And hopefully get a win on Sunday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man.
No worries. Take care.
Cheers. Thank you.